Good afternoon, parents. Happy Saturday. I wanted to show you our new unit in Foundations. We are already on Unit 3, and we will be learning about digraphs this unit. So the first thing that I would like to share is, what is a digraph? A digraph are two letters that are put together inside of a word that change sounds. So they go from making two sounds, individual sounds, to making one different sound. So we show this by underlining words. If we have the word shut, we would tap this out by saying sh, t. And then on our papers, we underline that digraph. Same thing with back, whether it's on the front end of the word or the back end. We would say b-ack, and then we would underline this digraph. Same thing with bath, b-ath, underline the digraph. So it's really important we use one line to show that it's one sound. We have 5 different digraphs, and one of them, it's really important to know when it's at the end of the word, it's always a digraph, almost always. When it's at the beginning of a word, it is not that digraph. So when we see a word like sock that ends with the k sound, we know that it's the CK when it's written. So this one we say CK, sock, k. And then we would say that sound. Again, when we write this, we underline it to show that it's one sound, but 2 separate letters. We also have SH, ship, sh. We have TH, thumb. We have CH, chin, ch. And then lastly, we have WH, whistle, wah. And all of these, again, are shown underlined with just these 2 letters to show that they're 2 separate letters, but when they form together, they make one sound. So those are our 2 concepts for Unit 3. Unit 3 is 2 weeks long. We will have next week. The homework will be due on Friday, the 29th. And then we have our following week, and the homework will be due on October 6th, with the test being October 6th. We have many trick words, and so this is where at the beginning of the year I said it was important to find some sort of practice that works for you. These trick words luckily have the same sort of format, so you can easily lump them together as I've shown you. So for example, it makes sense to me if I know how to spell as, I know how to spell has. If I know how to spell to, I know how to spell into. Similarly, if I know how to spell or, I know how to spell for. And then same with these. We can use them as, well, they all have an E at the end. We just change that beginning letter. We, he, me, she, and be. So then one thing I do want to tell you is we never mark the trick words. So for example, she has a digraph at the beginning, but she does not follow normal English language rules, so we do not mark them. That's what a trick word is. It's a word that doesn't always follow those rules. So we don't want to ever mark trick words. When we're writing them in sentences, even though it has, like has a TH at the beginning, we still don't mark them. When you are doing your homework, the homework looks a little different this time. You will have on Mondays will be your review days. So you'll have 3 words to dictate to your child, and they will write them on Monday here. 1, 2, and 3. It has review words at the top, and then here is your dictation right here. So for example, the first word that you will tap out with your child is log. So for number 1, I would say, okay, we're going to write the word log. Let's tap it out first. Log. And then your child would write it here. Because these are review words, you won't have any markings because we haven't learned any before a digraph. So then on Tuesday, you'll have current words to do. And the first one, for example, is fish. So you would find your current word section, number 1, and you would write fish. Ish. And then your child would write fish, and they would underline the SH. Then we would have, on Wednesdays, you'll have 3 trick words to write. There is space on the back of your homework to practice more trick words if you would like, which I really recommend. And on Thursday, before you would turn in this homework, you have a sentence that we will write, and that way for the test, they'll have more practice. So Unit 3, we also focus on the punctuation mark of a question. So that is what your sentence is for this week. Which fish did Tom get? So we want to focus on those digraphs. We mark them in sentences. And so we would mark them in which. We have a WH at the beginning. We have a CH at the end. We would mark them in fish. And then we need to make sure to uppercase Tom and to uppercase the beginning of the sentence with putting a punctuation at the end. So that kind of practice will help your child for the next test on October 6th. If you have any questions, please let me know, but your work at home is just to practice underlining the concepts, which are the digraphs, especially the CK at the end, and then just practice those sentences always, uppercase letter, spaces in the middle, punctuation at the end. I have a little cheat sheet reminder on the whiteboard always, USP, and your kids know that that means U is uppercase letter, S is spacing, P is punctuation. So even on the test, I'll say, make sure you do your USPs, and then hopefully they will remember to do those. Have a great weekend.